Hello again, everyone. Welcome again to Curious About Kakuro. We're now up into these harder puzzles, and what I want to concentrate on in this exercise is, as you can see on the left, is I'm looking for anomalies. So what I'm looking for is things that are missing, and I'm also looking for numbers that were in these rows and columns that shouldn't be there. We're always scanning through looking for working what is and what isn't, and that's what I want to concentrate on and see if we can solve this puzzle from start to finish. And again, putting in from the basics, and it's just seeing if there are any other tips or tricks that I can show that may help you to understand doing these puzzles. So straight from the back, we'll start off up the top here. 5, we know that can be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this can be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because we're looking for 8, I know that cannot be 4, because you can't have 4 and 4. If that can't be 4, this can't be 1. So the only options on this side is basically 5, 6, or 7. So to add up to 13, this can only be 6, 7, or 8. 18, we're looking across here. There's plenty of options there. 39, I know in a run, is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can put those in, because then at least we'll know that is the run. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one now can't be 9, so it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this can't be 9, so this can only be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any tangents that we can work off? Yeah, 10. Here we know that this can only be 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we've established a number. That has to be the 4, which means that none of these can be 4. We'll start eliminating from this line and see how quickly we can actually establish the numbers by taking these away. That's the way it works, is that you're always either putting something in or taking something out. So because we've established 4 that we know up here then can only be 1, 2, or 3. This can only be 1, 2, or 3. This can only be 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so now these will work to quite a few. Let's work here on 9 to make 11. Then because they're all in sync, it can only be 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. With 9, this can only be 1, 2, 3, or 4. There's plenty of options here, but with the 9, this can only be 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we know that this one can't be 4, because it's adding up to 8. It'd have to be 4 and 4. So if that can't be 4, this cannot be 5. Let's just have a quick look at 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7. Now they can go anywhere there. So with these numbers here now to make up to 8, we know that has to be either 5, 6, or 7, depending on what these numbers are. So let's carry on. 13, 9, 13, 19, 13, 18, 7, 9, 18, 7. We know this is 1, 2, and 4, but in here can only go 1 and 2. In here can only be 1 and 2. So in here is 1, 2, 4. This can only be 1, 2, 4. 18, there's options. 9's options. 11 here, we know that's 1, 2, 3, 5. So we can put those in. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Carrying on 39. We've got again 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I know that the only number that can go in here is the 4, which is 4 and 1. So this has to be the 5 to make that 2. 6 can't go in there because it would be 6 and 1. We've already got that. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can't be 9 to go in there. Otherwise it would be 9, 1, 1. So this has to be the 6 and the 1 to make this 8, which means that these can't be 6. This can't. So all we're looking for now is 7, 8, and 9. It can't be 8, so that can only be 7 or 9. And this is 7, 8, or 9. Okay, let's just have a look and see what we can carry on with here. 8 and 5, 7 and 5 is 12. Okay, 5. Okay, I know then this one. This cannot be 5, because no matter what number is in this box, if it's 8 and 5, that's 13. If it's 7 and 5, it's already 12. It can't go in there, so I can eliminate that 5. It can't go. Now, with the 3, that would then mean that we have got, take 3 from 11, it means that we've got 2 numbers adding up to 8. So it can't be 8 and 0, and it can't be 7 and 1 because we've got it. So that can't be the 3 either. If we take the 2 away, then that means it's 9. So it means that, 8 and 1 is 9. We can't have 7 and 2 is 9. It can't be the 2 either. So we've eliminated now that has to be the 1. So that can't be 1. That can't be 1. That can't be 1. Now we're looking for 2 numbers that will add up to 10. I know it can't be 8 because it's 2. It can only be 3 and 7. So because we've now established 7, that has to be the 9. This can't be 7 or 9. This has to be the 8. Okay, so 8 and 8 is 16. Now remember, before I've been telling you that whenever you get an 8, one of the numbers has to be a 1. 1 cannot go here, 1 cannot go there because you've got it. So that there has to be a 1. Oops, sorry, that has to be the 1. By the same token, when you're looking on the other end of the scale at the numbers, 24 can only be 7, 8 and 9. 23 can only be 6, 8 and 9. The number 22, which has 2 options, has to have a 9 in it somewhere. So just keep those figures in mind. So let's work out here now. We're looking for 15. So 1, 2, 3. These numbers here can only be 4 or 5. This can only be 4 or 5. Okay, 8 and 9 is 17, 18, 19, 21. So we're looking for 5. So it can't be 5. It can only be 4 and 1. So because this is 1, this has to be 2. This has to be 1. This can't be 1 or 2, so it's 4. 4 and 4 is 8, which can only be 1 and 3, so that has to be 3 and 1. 18M is at 17, which can only be 8 or 9. I know that because that's 11. That has to be the 8. This has to be the 9. 1 and 3 is 4, so this has to be 5 to make 9. 5 and 4 is 9 and 5 is 14. This has to be 8. 8 and 11 can only be 1 and 2. This has to be the 2. This is the 1. That can't be 1 because then you'd be looking at 2 numbers adding up to 18. No such thing. That has to be the 9 and the 3 to make the 12. 3 and 1 is 4. So again, this has to be 5 to make 9. So that cannot be 5. This cannot be 5. If that can't be 5, this can't be 3. And if this can't be 3, this can't be 6. Let's have a quick look here. 7, 8. No, there's plenty of numbers there. What have we got missing? Here we've got the number. Because that's 4, that has to be 5. 5 and 8 is 13. 1 is 14. That has to be the 2. Because that's 2, this cannot be 2. And this cannot be 2. Okay, again, looking for anomalies. 18 is now 17, which can only be 8 or 9. So let's put it in. 8, 9, 8, 9. If it's 9 to make 12, it's 3, which is 1 and 2. It can't go in this box, they won't fit. So that has to be the 8. This has to be the 9. Because it's 8, we're looking for 4 to make 12, which can only be 1 and 3. So that has to be the 1. This has to be the 3, making this a 5. This is making things a little bit easier for us up here now. Again, we subtract 1 from 18 is 17, can only be 8 and 9. We've got the 9, so this has to be 8 and 9. 9 and 3 is 12. 3 and 4 is 7. Now down here, we're looking at 2 numbers adding up to 3 can only be 1 and 2. This can only be 1 and 2, which means that this can only be 4 or 5. So this is either 2 or 3. which can go on here. 5 and 2 is 7, 4 and 3 is 7. So just work out these numbers that we can finish off this corner. 4 and 8 is 12. This is 21, 26. So we're looking at 4, which can only be 1 and 3. So 3 makes that 4, and 1 makes that 2. 2 and 4 is 6. So we've got around half of this puzzle done. Let's work vertically now and see what we can work out. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 or 3 can't go in here. It can only be 4 and 1. So because this is 4, this has to be 9. Okay, 9 from 25 leaves 16. So that's the numbers up here. It can only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So that has to be the 6. The rest of the numbers can only be 1, 2, 3, 4. This can only be 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is 6, this has to be 7 to add up to the 13. 7 makes this 1. 1 makes this 4. And I can eliminate all of these 4s now. Can't be 4. Can't be 4. Can't be 4. Okay. 1 from 13 is 12. So we're now looking at 2 numbers adding up to 12. It can only be 3 and 9. So now I can eliminate this 3. I can eliminate this 3. Okay. If either of these numbers here were 1 or 2, then it would correspond. 1 would make that 2, 2 would make that 1. It would still only add up to 3. We'd have to put a 10 in there. So we can't have that. So neither of those numbers can be 1 or 2. That has to be a 3, which means that this can't be a 3 and this can't be a 3. Okay, so we're now looking for the numbers that are at 2 numbers adding up to 10. If it's a 1, it's a 9. We've got it. It can only be 8 and 2. 2 means this has to be 1. 1 means this has to be 2. 2 means that this has to be 1. Okay, 1 means that that can't be 1. If that can't be 1, this cannot be 8. Let's see where 8 can go. Yep, that's okay. So 8 and 9 is 17. That's got to be a 4. So 1, 2, 4 is 7. This then has to be a 9 to make 16. 9 means that that cannot be 9. It can't be 8 because 8 and 9 is 17. It can't be 7, 9 because that would be 16 and 1. So that can only be 5 or 6. 6 and 9 is 15. That can only be 2 or 3. Okay, where to next? Where we can work out 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. So 3 numbers there is 5, 6. Oh, no, that's not going to work. 5, 6, 7, 9 has to go there or there. Okay, let's take 5 from 28, which leaves then 23, which can only be 6, 8 and 9. That cannot be a 7. So we're now left with 6. That cannot be 6 or 7. That has to be 8, 9. 8, 9. Because it's 6, this has to be 2. 2 means that this has to be 7. We can now eliminate any other 7s in this row. So that cannot be 7. If that can't be 7, that cannot be 2. It also means that this cannot be 7. And if that can't be 7, this cannot be 4. Okay, so we've now got a matching pair of 5, 6. So this cannot be 5 or 6. It can only be 8 or 9, which means that this can only be 2 or 3. That leads in then to another matching pair, 2, 3. This has to be the 4. So 4 and 5 is 9. 5 means this is the 6. 9 and 6 is 15. That makes that the 2. So this is the 3. 3 means that is the 8. That 8 means that has to be 9. And that 9 means that that has to be 8. That's all squares filled. And that should be the Yep, that's taken us 15 minutes with the explanation. So we're now up into the harder puzzles, and that's just shown you there that thinking on two ends of the scale, using these tips and tricks that we've showed you, you will now be getting the hang of these. We'll try another hard one next time, and because you've got the charts now, a little bit later on I will be putting up a full chart which will actually show you all the possible numbers and all the possible combination runs which you can use. Um, I prefer to do that than using the prompts. You can still use these prompts if you like, it's totally up to you. But we're now getting to the point where we should be breezing through these puzzles, and we'll start getting up into the expert and the much harder level puzzles, just so we can look for things that I can show you, other tips and tricks that I can really only show you how they work when we come across them. So we'll just keep working. I will do another hard puzzle exactly the same as what we've done here, and then we'll step it up to the next level. So by another 2, 3, 4 episodes, you should be at the expert level and know every single thing that there is to know how to solve these puzzles. And I'd love anybody watching, if you know any other tips or any other tricks that you can show me or share with any of the other viewers. It helps us all, and it'll be much appreciated. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.